He was the town's hero, a beloved football coach honored at the biggest game of the year. But as thousands cheered and cameras rolled, he took the mic and exposed the ultimate betrayal. His wife wasn't just cheating, she was cheating with his own brother. And Coach didn't confront them in private. He waited until they were all watching, until the Jumbotron lit up, until the world saw what she had done. This wasn't just revenge, it was strategy. And it all unfolded on the biggest stage Texas had to offer. Let's jump into the video. Texas, Thanksgiving Day, 3:47 p.m. The crowd at Liberty Stadium was electric, a sea of maroon and gold, roaring in anticipation. Marching bands blared fight songs, cheerleaders spun in synchronized waves, and a turkey leg in every other hand gave the air a smoky, sweet aroma. This wasn't just any game. It was the 58th annual Thanksgiving Bowl, a decades-old tradition in this small Texas town. Families planned vacations around it. Alumni flew in from out of state. The local economy spiked, and this year's game had an even more emotional twist. Coach Daniel Holt, the town's golden son, was being honored for his 20 years of service. 2 decades of coaching, mentoring, and turning rough-edged boys into men, and often into champions. He wasn't just respected, he was beloved, idolized. And this year, even though he had retired, the committee asked him to step in for the ceremonial coin toss. He agreed without hesitation. His wife, Chelsea, had helped him pick his suit for the day, deep gray, freshly pressed. She kissed him on the cheek that morning like she always did, smiled like she always did, sat in the VIP booth above the 50-yard line like she always did. But Daniel wasn't the same inside, because 3 weeks ago, his world had cracked wide open. It started small. A notification on her iPad left open in the kitchen. An airdrop from her phone to her laptop left on the bed. An accidental selfie video in her camera roll that showed a hotel mirror and a very familiar silhouette. His brother, Tyler. Tyler, his own blood. Assistant coach for 5 years. Best man at their wedding. The rage didn't come all at once. It built slowly, quietly, like frost on a window pane. Daniel didn't yell. He didn't scream. He didn't even confront her. Because he was a coach. And a coach always plays the long game. He spent the next 2 weeks collecting receipts. Not the emotional kind, the legal kind. Bank statements. Hotel bookings. Photos with timestamp metadata. Security footage from a friend at the hotel desk. Even a TikTok video she didn't realize had geolocation data turned on. Every step she took, he followed digitally. Silently. He spoke to a lawyer. Transferred assets. Froze their joint accounts. Made sure the house deed was in only his name. Something Chelsea had signed years ago without reading. After all, he was the one who handled the boring stuff. And then he waited. For game day. 3:58 p.m. The announcer's voice boomed over the stadium speakers. Ladies and gentlemen, before kickoff, please rise for the ceremonial coin toss led by none other than Coach Daniel Holt. Applause erupted like thunder. Daniel stepped onto the field, looking sharp in his custom blazer and Texas State pin. The teams lined up behind their captains, the referee nodded, and Chelsea leaned forward in her seat, beaming with pride. She had no idea what was coming. The camera zoomed in. Thousands of eyes were locked on the Jumbotron above the scoreboard. Daniel flipped the coin. Heads. The crowd clapped. He turned to the referee, shook hands, then asked for the mic. Just one quick shout out before we kick things off. The announcer, thinking it was going to be a heartfelt thank you, handed it over without hesitation. Daniel looked up toward the VIP box and smiled. I just want to say thank you to my beautiful wife, Chelsea. Camera cut to her. She waved shyly. The crowd cheered. You stood by me all these years. Supported me. Loved me. Told everyone how lucky I was to have you. He paused, then turned to face the camera fully. So today, I figured I'd return the favor and show everyone just how lucky I really was. The Jumbotron flickered. The band stopped playing. And then, boom! The first image appeared. Chelsea and Tyler, arm in arm in a hotel hallway. Dated. Time stamped. Next, a zoomed-in room service bill signed Mrs. Holt. Next, a selfie of Tyler, shirtless, behind Chelsea in a mirror. The stadium went dead silent. People gasped, covered their mouths. Some booed. Then came the audio clip, a voicemail, accidentally recorded and deleted, or so she thought. He's clueless, Ty. I could cheat right under his nose, and he'd probably bring me flowers. Laughter. Her laughter. And then Daniel's voice cut in again. Mike still live. You said you wanted everyone to know how lucky I was to have you. So I made sure they did. Gasps turned into chatter. Shock turned into outrage. Chelsea stood frozen in the VIP box, horror washing across her face. Tyler, seated next to her, bolted from his chair and tried to leave, but security stepped in. Daniel had planned for that too. Daniel handed the mic back and walked off the field. No smile, no smugness, just peace. Behind him, the crowd roared, not for a touchdown, but for the coldest, most public act of quiet revenge anyone had ever seen. Later that night, Daniel sat alone on the bleachers under the stadium lights, sipping from a thermos. The divorce papers had been served that afternoon. Chelsea wouldn't be coming home. Tyler? He'd been fired from the team, blacklisted from every high school coaching circle in Texas. Daniel didn't feel triumphant. He felt clean. There was a difference. Chelsea had once told him he was too predictable. She wasn't wrong. He was loyal, methodical, simple even, but she made one mistake. She thought being predictable meant being weak. She forgot the most dangerous plays are the ones you never see coming. 1 week later, the video went viral. Over 20 million views in 3 days. Coach destroys cheating wife on Jumbotron Live. Thanksgiving football turns into emotional showdown. Texas coach delivers the pettiest, most legendary revenge ever. Reporters knocked. He declined every interview. He didn't need a spotlight. He had the truth. And now he had his life back. Epilogue, 1 year later. Liberty Stadium. Thanksgiving Bowl 2025. A new coach flipped the coin this year, but Daniel was there, in the stands, not on the field. He wore jeans and a flannel shirt. No mic, no spotlight, just a fresh coffee and a front row view. Beside him sat a woman he'd met at a veterans charity event. Her name was Monica. She didn't care that he was a former coach or local legend. She liked that he listened more than he talked. She liked the quiet strength in him. As the national anthem began, Daniel looked at the field. Same grass, same teams, but everything had changed. Because sometimes the best revenge isn't loud. It isn't cruel. It's strategic. It's graceful. And it's served on the big screen in front of 40,000 people. Subscribe if you enjoyed.